and he just delivered another, to be a stellar performance. Fought smart. Yoel's still dangerous. I mean, that guy, if he hits you, it's over. And I think Phil probably felt that power early on and said, I'm going to stick and move a little bit, but took him down a couple times. And I love the fight. I thought that it was a great fight. And I'm telling you, Yoel will be back. He'll be, this is like, to me, his comeback fight. And it's been how long since he fought? Give him another fight. I think he'll be ready, really ready for the next one.
And that's what I was going to ask you about. Like from his perspective, you like what you saw. I know he didn't get the result that he wanted, but first fight at light heavyweight in years, first fight in quite a while, just in general. So you like the future for Yoel Romero and Bellator?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anybody that can do what he does, and again, give this guy another camp, another big fight. I think he's going to come in and he's going to start throwing bombs on people because he's a dangerous individual. I mean, you guys saw it. Like one punch, it's over. He's gonna be that guy.
Do you think his future remains at 205, or would you like to see him try to go back to middleweight?
I'm going to talk to him because I would love for him to, maybe fight and maybe stay at 205. But Gegard is going to be busy beginning of next year fighting Austin, and if that division opens up and he wants to go down and fight the winner, or the winner of that fight, we'd love to do that too. So that we have a lot of exciting options for Romero, and I'm excited to put them all together.
We didn't speak with him, but after the fight, he looked, I don't know if it was surprised or kind of frustrated, and he said something about 5 rounds. This is something we brought up with you before. Do you think that we'll see a day where Bellator main events in general are 5 rounds?
Yeah, we just didn't want to make a change, but I think maybe at some point you'll see it. I just know that once we make that decision, it's not going to go back. But I mean, it's I heard that was like something in his mind too. Can't blame him. He's been fighting 5 rounds a lot in his career, but this was a 3-round fight, and maybe next time he'll be in a 5-round fight.
Hey, Scott, wanted to get your opinion on Neiman Gracie's victory. Everyone thought it'd be a submission, but he gets the knockout.
I was like, wow, this guy has been training. And then when he did his little Muay Thai dance, I go, okay, he's been in the Muay Thai gym. And it wasn't just the uppercut that really surprised me. It was the elbow that he followed up with. I said, oh, he's really been in the Thai boxing gym. So, I love that, because when martial artists like a Neiman, who's such a master at a discipline, goes into the gym and says, you know what, I'm gonna be like a white belt in Muay Thai, not be a white belt, but whatever, but I'm gonna get better and better and better and improve. And so now, listen, if his hands look like that the next fight, and he can start throwing elbows and striking, and with his grappling game and submission game, he's just gonna get, a little bit more dangerous each time. So I really like what I saw from Neiman, because a tremendous amount of growth, as far as I'm concerned, as far as his striking ability.
Big Bentuna Parish plus 800 underdog. He beat Christian Edwards 5-0. What do you do with Christian Edwards next?
That's something, I'll reserve judgment on that. We'll go back and take a look at it. That I mean, I think it's surprised a lot of people, let's say, but I'm happy for him that he came out and won and did what he had to do in front of this tough crowd. And for Edwards, I think he's got to go back and take a look at it too. So we'll go back, mix it up, and we'll get some more fights out of those guys.
And last question, obviously the sad news with Rumble Johnson having to pull out from the tournament. Is everything going to be okay with him? Kind of unknown there.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really private conversation that we had with Rumble, and I really don't want to get into it. But we're rooting for him, and I'm hoping that he can get back and get back to doing what he loves to do. But until he's healthy and ready to fight, we're definitely going to be on the sidelines waiting for him and supporting him.
Scott, follow up on Ben Parrish. Here's a guy who wasn't very active as a professional, and I guess he'd been gone for a couple of years, and he gets this huge win on the main card. What are you guys thinking? Are you going to market the hell out of this guy? Or
I think he became a big star here overnight. That's for sure. I mean, sometimes fighters need a statement event, a statement showing, and I think that's what he did tonight. I think that he put a statement on this fight. Now people are going to know him. I think our fans are going to love him, and so it's all upward and forward from here. And again, it's we'll put him in difficult fights in the future, and if he can prove himself to continue to win and look good, we're going to give him every shot possible.
And what about Deanna Bennett? She missed weight by a significant amount, yet the fight went forward and she got the win. I think in the past you've expressed that you really don't like that kind of situation. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's always uncomfortable when somebody doesn't make weight, and especially on a big fight like that. You're fighting on the main TV card on Showtime, and it's a tough conversation, right? And I think we will talk to her. I do love her story though, because coming from San Jose, coming to the fight, seeing Carano Cyborg fight, the father being a police officer here in San Jose, the father being part of the security team here when we did fights. I mean, it's a very personal story for me, and I do love the story. And she did what she had to do tonight. The weight thing is, we'll have to probably have a conversation about that and make sure that it doesn't happen again. But Laura, to me, she agreed to the fight, and she could have said no, and the fight would have been off. And so I have to give her credit for stepping up. But the result is the results, and that's how it's going to go down in the history books.
Good evening, Scott. Congratulations on the success of tonight's show. First off, feels great to have Bellator back in the Bay Area. And I was also going to ask about Deanna Bennett, just your thoughts on her emotional homecoming, the win against Alejandra Lara, and with now that little bit of a shakeup in the women's flyweight division, are you considering maybe a women's flyweight Grand Prix, given the circumstances of what happened with Juliana and Denise, how close their fight was, and you still have Alima Lane McFarland as a top contender. Liz Carmouche is now in the promotion, and Deanna just made a big statement against someone of Lara's caliber. So I just wanted to ask you about the homecoming win for Deanna and what your plans are now for the women's flyweight division. Is a Grand Prix somewhere in the future?
Yeah, I mean, the Grand Prix, it's premature. We want to finish out our light heavyweight tournament, and then we'll get together with Showtime and think about maybe the right tournament for us to move forward. I've always liked the 125-pound division for our females, because I think we have a lot of great talent in there. But our 135 men's division is getting stacked, and we just signed Horiguchi, as you know, so that's just putting another piece of the puzzle together to do something really great. So we're going to wait till after the semifinals on October 16th, and then we'll make a decision going into next year which tournament we're going to throw. As far as the homecoming, it's like, again, I said, it's a very personal thing for me, because having her father here and her coming to watch the Strikeforce fights, and at that time we were the only promotion doing female fights. Think about that. This was not like a big, it wasn't like a common thing amongst a lot of the leagues. So the Cyborg Carano fight really was a pivot for female MMA, and that it was the first time, I believe, in mixed martial arts that it aired on a major network, female martial arts being a headliner, airing on a major network like Showtime. So, that was a pivot point for female MMA, and there's a lot of things that went into that, the details. I think we've talked about this before, where the commission, when we did our first fight in 2006, they wouldn't allow 5-minute rounds for the females. The commission here in California, it wasn't Andy Foster; it was another gentleman at the time, and we fought for the females to get 5 rounds, 5-minute rounds. Is something that was important to Carano and Cyborg. But a lot of great female fights happened here in this building. A lot of great fights, period, happened in this building. I mean, when I came in here yesterday, I looked around and I was just like, wow, this is unbelievable. It's like, Fedor fights Fabricio Verdum here. Big moment in MMA. First loss for Fedor. Carano fights Cyborg here. Nick Diaz makes his comeback here, beats Frank Shamrock here. Shamrock fights Kung Lee here. I mean, it just goes on and on. Alice Overeem fought Vitor Belfort here in 2006. I mean, this is a house that had many great MMA fights since California allowed it, which was in a Strikeforce event, and I believe this was March 10th of 2006. So going back to the local feeling and how I feel attached to the story, yeah, to have her father here be a policeman and her father bringing his daughter to the fights, and it's just a really touching story.
Just a couple more here, Jim.
Yeah, Jim Barcelona, Miami Herald. Thank you, Scott. I'm just curious if with Yoel, what has it been like working with him and his team? And also, Would you like to see him fight again this year, or are you thinking maybe 2022 for him for his next fight? I know you need to talk to him and his team.
That's a good question because I haven't, since he came out of the cage tonight, I haven't talked to him. But if he wants to get back in there right away, we definitely would like to have a conversation with him about that. I think that he put on a good performance. Phil is at a super high level right now. He's been fighting, he's been consistent, and Yoel hung in there and did his thing. Got taken down. A couple missed punches. I mean, it could have ended a lot differently. A lot different. It could have been a different outcome if Yoel would have punched one of those big bombs he throws. I mean, this guy is dangerous. I'm not kidding. This guy, if he hits you, it's going to be lights out. He's got that kind of freaky power. I mean, just shaking his hand, 2 days ago, I was like, okay, I get it now. This guy is a killer, and he's going to knock people out. But Yoel's been great to work with. He's got a great attitude. He's really happy to be here. We're happy he's here, and we're happy about all the fights we're going to put him, together for him. Maybe into this year, even going into next year, because he to me he's a main event star. You guys saw the reaction here and the crowd cheering for him. I mean, people love him. They love Phil, but they love him too. So to me, it was a great bout, and Phil deserved to win that fight. But I'm looking forward to Yoel's next fight.
Giancarlo.
Hi, Scott. Great event tonight. Just touching on the topic of Grand Prix earlier, it's been a while since that featherweight Grand Prix when AJ McKee won it, and he was always consistent in saying that he wanted to go up and challenge Pitbull for the lightweight belt. Has there been an update with that? Have you talked to either of those two about their future?
We talked to Pitbull a little bit. He wanted to take some time off and spend time with his family, so that's going on. I think AJ's still out celebrating his victory against Pitbull. He's probably having a good time in LA tonight. But we'll get together with them probably in the next couple of weeks and start mapping out what the next steps are. But you're right. We got to get that 55-pound belt active and busy, and we intend to do that in the first quarter of next year.
Last one, Jay.
Hey, thanks very much, Scott. Congratulations on a great card tonight. It was announced during the broadcast that Julius Angelicus is getting the title shot against Nemkov, and I'm just wondering if you can speak to the selection process in terms of, choosing him to step into the Grand Prix. He is the highest ranked fighter available, I believe. Is that just Bellator is going to stick to those rankings pretty firmly?
I tell you, when we picked him as an alternate, we felt good about it, and when Rumble pulled out, we said, okay, we're going to go to our alternate, just like we have done in different tournaments in the past. And to me, I feel good about it. Here's a talented kid, and in tournaments, you never know what's going to happen. He's got a tough fight with Nemkov. I get it, but anything can happen in these tournaments, and that's what I love about tournaments. Build stars, and tournaments are unpredictable. And to me, he's going into a situation where Nemkov doesn't really know him that well. He might know Nemkov better than Nemkov knows him. But he was already the alternate that we announced, I want to say 6 months ago or 8 months ago, whenever we announced the tournament. So we're going to stick to the plan, and I wish him good luck and get ready. And he's going to have a big fight coming on October 16th.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Scott.
Mm-hmm.